Welcome everyone back to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video. My name is DFree, and in this we're going to go ahead and talk about how you, yes you, listening to the video, would go ahead and farm the super attack of all of the new, well, the two new summonable and two new free-to-play Gokus that are in, or the two new summonable Gokus and the two new summonable Friezas, excuse me. The free-to-play Goku for the winner and the free-to-play Frieza for the loser. This guide also does apply to them, but I don't have them pulled up here, so in this video. But otherwise, hope you all enjoy. Subscribe if you're new, of course, for more content. That being said, first thing I want to point out is, unfortunately, as it pertains to Global, they didn't really plan these events out too well on Global. JP's a bit of a different story. You know, they actually ran the events that you would need to farm these characters a lot easier, pretty much. So, as it pertains to some of these guys, you can farm them adequately. Otherwise, you would probably be better suited waiting for other events. So speaking of other events, this guy is a perfect example. Right now, he starts off as Goku. He does Dokkan Awaken into a Kaioken Goku here. So this guy is a summonable Kaioken Goku. The good news about this guy is there are a couple of different ways you can farm his super attack. So to begin, if you were to try to farm this guy as is, and this applies to any other SSR Goku in the game, so yes, this guy as well as his SSR form, he is just regular Goku as well. So if you were to try to do this exact same method, everything I'm going to mention applies to both characters. So there are two R Gokus in the game. This Goku right here is always live in both versions of the game. You can farm him as far as he is concerned, awaken him to SR rarity for I believe a 5% chance, and that would work on an SSR, again, 5% of the time. Not really, to me, I don't really like that method, but right now I believe that's the only method you can go through to farm the super attack of these characters currently. Otherwise, of course, if you have like summonable Goku SR cards or SSR cards, you can use those as well, right? But otherwise, that's pretty much the only method for farming the Goku right now. Again, this is in the events tab. It is one of the older events. In fact, one of the first events in the game. It is live always on both versions of the game. So one thing I want to point out is that this guy actually differs when it comes to Global and JP. Global has an easier time farming the super attack of the Super Saiyan Goku because of the way that the rarity changes. So this guy actually Dokkan Awakens from being just regular Goku into Angel Goku here, and then from there is actually a base SSR Super Saiyan Goku. So this Super Saiyan Goku will be relevant momentarily when I come back to Super Saiyan Goku super attack farming. But another way you can go ahead and farm the super attack of the Goku is you can use this Goku to train anywhere Goku, who also, by the way, does Dokkan Awaken into a Super Saiyan Goku. Unfortunately, it's a SR Goku. The significance for this is depending on the rarity, that changes the percentage that you would otherwise get when you are training. So this would be a 50% chance to train if you awaken him to SSR rarity, but again, that would be max. There is no UR. UR typically is 100% rarity. It drops to being a 100% chance to raise a super attack, excuse me, if it's a UR training into a UR. But if it's a UR training into a transcended UR, that drops to being a 50% chance as well, and this requisitely does drop as well if you do not awaken him from SR as well. So moving on. This Goku does work as well, but he's not as well. He's not live currently, so that's not the best way to do it. Another one I do want to point out if you do want to wait is this Goku. This is technically the best way to farm a base form Goku in the game. He is the one that Dokkan Awakens into the physical Ultra Instinct Goku from the Tournament of Power event. That is not live currently, but he starts off as SR, can be an SSR. Again, I just explained the way that changes. This is the best way to farm base form Goku. So if you have either of these two that I talked about, the Goku summonable that turns into Kaioken, or the AGL, and you are willing to wait, you can go ahead and farm them that way. Otherwise, you know, you can awaken them and then reverse them when you have the time to. That's one of the cool things about the reverse mechanic. You can use the unit at low SA level, then come back and farm the super attack. So that is how I would recommend farming. Now, the swap for this is they do have both of them. They do have name changes when they Dokkan Awaken. So there are a couple of ways, and this is where we get into a little bit more of the Global has had an issue with this, and it won't be as easy on Global thing when we talk about Kaioken, because what I just did personally was I farmed the Kaioken Goku SSR card. This card drops in the Lord Slug story event, so this card is an SSR Kaioken Goku STR type, and I awakened it to UR rarity and trained it into my Transcended UR, this Goku here, Kaioken Physical Goku from the Summon banner. So yes, I had to awaken this Goku from SSR into his Transcended UR form, and then I started training the super attack. Now, by training him with the SSR Goku here at 100, or at this Goku being a UR rarity, so again, using the medals and all that, making him a UR, I got a 50% chance per. So it took me about 13 to get the super attack up to 10, so I got pretty lucky on that, I would say. But that is how you can also farm this Goku as well. So you have the option of farming it pre-awakening or post-awakening in the game. That is live on JP currently. Global, this event has actually not come out yet to use that Kaioken Goku. So in the future, it's another option you'll have. If this is the option that you choose, you will have to either wait or come back to it later. Keep in mind, if you wanted to get the 100% chance, I believe you can actually Dokkan Awaken this Goku to his Transcended UR rarity and then feed it into the physical summonable Transcended UR for that 100% chance. I believe that works that way. Typically, I just stopped here, though, because I'm not going to go that heavy invested. But again, if you want to guarantee yourself the super attack, you can do that. Same exact stuff applies to this Goku here. We will talk about the Friezas in a moment if you haven't noticed yet. And the reason I said this is different on JP versus Global is he's UR here. So the UR, I talked about the percentages. If you were to try to train this guy into the Super Saiyan Goku Transcended UR, you would get a 50% chance. Unlike the Kaioken, this guy's TUR changes names, so you can't do it that way. You have to train here. Now, the issue with JP as far as this method is concerned is JP's Goku is actually an SR because they skip the entire Angel Goku phase. It goes from this guy straight into, if I go back to JP, straight into the Super Saiyan Goku. It skips that entire phase. It bumps down the rarity because of that. So, and we're still looking at globals. Let me go back to JP's. There we go. It bumps down the rarity because of that. So you have to train here with this one, and that lowers your chance overall. But again, you can do that. That is a way you can farm. And I already talked about this Goku. And then the last method for farming this guy's super attack would be this guy, but he's not. Unless you have some of these saved from the crossover, which would have been years ago, then you can't really use this. Which I actually have one left because I kept it. So that is pretty much the way you would farm the Goku. So best method for the Goku would be to use this Goku either way, which is the Awakening of the Goku, free to play on the tech stage. As far as Kaioken, I would either use summonable SR Gokus at the moment, unless you are willing to put up with the Speedy's Goku challenge, which is like a 1% chance or 5% chance, whatever, with those Rs, and go from there, or wait until the Tournament of Power event comes back, or wait if you're on Global for the release of the Kaioken Goku. So you have a bunch of options with this one, not as many with the other. So Frieza, a lot of what I said applies to Frieza as well. So when it comes to the summonable STR Frieza, you only have one option. You have to use this Frieza. This is the one from the Full Power Frieza event. He drops on the first stage Z-Hard. So on Z-Hard rarity, you drop this Frieza here. You would have to actually pull this Frieza, who is relevant in other ways. Frieza's a lot easier, a lot less complicated to farm. So you would drop this Frieza, then get 3 medals, 3 of the Full Power Frieza medals, and then Dokkan Awaken him here. Now, if you were to train this Frieza as is into the summonable the summonable Frieza STR type without having up the rarity to transcend a UR, you would get a 50% chance for SSR to regular UR. Otherwise, if you awaken this guy to UR and then feed him into the STR, you would get a 100% chance. The STR Frieza right here that I was showing, again, prior to this guy becoming a Transcended UR, because he's already a Final Form Frieza, you do not need to make any changes. So since that's the case, you can just train this guy with this guy here for a 100% chance if you use this. And you awaken it to UR. Otherwise, if you just use it as is, it's a 50%. I just did this myself, and that is the best way to farm him. Long story short, there's no other best way to do it. And then after you do that, feel free to awaken him, and you'd be good. Like, you don't want to awaken him first like the Goku. You know, you don't want to do that because it's the same name. It just lowers your chances, though. So, moving on. The other unit that you would want to farm is this Frieza. This is, of course, the summonable Frieza SSR. And this one's really cool because they're the same card. You know, it doesn't really change. It's just a first form Frieza. And there are several first form Friezas you can farm. So, this Frieza here with Stage 4 has a respectable drop rate from the LR Frieza event. You can use this. He's an SSR naturally. You can up rarity to UR for a 100% raise, and he's the only one that offers that. Otherwise, you can deal with these two SR Friezas. So this is the SR Frieza I was legitimately just looking at from the Full Power Frieza event. You can up him to SSR, but without Dokkan awakening him into the final form. Up him to SSR, you'd get a 50% chance if you feed him into the Frieza making this Frieza transcend UR. I already talked about that. It gets a little confusing, I know, but bear with me. You get a 50% chance. Last, the Bardock event is alive on JP right now. So if you wanted to, you can drop this guy from the Bardock event. I don't think it's live right now on Global, but if we come over here, the Bardock event drops this guy on stage 6 apparently. So you can take him and then up his rarity again, and for that 50% chance, you'd be good to go. So that's ultimately what you can do. Frieza's a lot less complicated and a lot more versatile with the farming between both versions of the game. Same thing, like I said, you can wait for LR Frieza's event stage 4 to be live on the game. I believe JP has, I know JP has it, I believe Global also has it as well. If not, you could try to farm him. Personally, I would say using the SR Friezas, it's probably better, because what will happen with the LR is you might have a good chance at getting the drop, but you could also wind up getting several runs that are just medals. And this, you can guarantee that you get at least a 50% chance each time. So it's probably going to be a little bit easier, but go however you feel like it. I just wanted to give you guys the tools and empower you with the knowledge of how to go ahead and awaken these units. So to recap, Goku, you have a couple of different ways you can farm the STR Kaioken Goku from the Lord Slug story event that is not live on Global but will be later. Otherwise, you can just farm him out right out of the gate using these 3 variants of Goku that are acquirable through different means in the game. Otherwise, you can also raise the super attack of the AGL Goku here, or his SSR Goku. Literally, this one using the same method as the other Goku for the Kaioken. Super Saiyan Goku, you would need to train him a little bit differently. You would have to either have one of these 3 copies of these units, and they all vary depending on how good of a chance you would get. One thing to note is that this Goku here offers the same amount of chance as the free-to-play Tech Goku Super Saiyan does on JP, because like I said, the rarity is different. He is not an SSR naturally, he is an SR naturally. This Goku, I didn't cover him, but he is from the Battle of Gods event, and he awakens from the Radish Farmer Goku. So otherwise, moving on to Friezas, like I said, you just need this Final Form Frieza, who is the awakening of the Frieza from the Full Power Frieza event, and you'd be fine. And then you can use any other first form Frieza to farm the super attack of the Tech Summonable Frieza. So that is how this all breaks down. Otherwise, have an awesome day. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will catch you all in the next Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video.